You don't have to love what you do. You got to be fucking addicted to what you do. You got to be addicted to winning. You cannot work short hours. You got to work long hours. You got to work smarter, and you got to work fucking harder. It's the work that you put in, the time and effort, the dedication, the hours that nobody else saw here, the sacrifices. You have to be disciplined. You have to be obsessive. You have to be addicted to the result.
At the end of the day, the person that will surrender is the person that didn't work as hard as the other person. You got to work harder than the other person.
Welcome to the downtown studios of Cranford, New Jersey. You're here at the Commissioner's Cove. Alongside of me is my man, Co-Commissioner 13th Legion, and I am the Commissioner, Ricky Let Me Down, where we gather all our information to help you guys. Hopefully this has helped you guys. This is it. This is for the championship game. Hopefully our research throughout the course of the weeks has helped some of you owners. We wish all the owners to make your decisions, to put in your lineups, to help you guys come down to what we all strive for, and that's to win the championship game.
Yeah, absolutely, Commish. I hope that whatever we imparted to you over the weeks may have helped some of you. But I know that it was your hard work and your dedication to fantasy that enabled you to get to this point in the season. And if you're in the championship game, good luck to you.
Congratulations if you're in the championship game.
Yes.
So sit back, relax, enjoy possibly the final episode of 2023 of Stardoms and Sinners from our standpoint of view.
Yes, this will be our last one.
This will be our last one. We both have enjoyed doing this every week, and we enjoy bringing all our information to you guys. We enjoyed some of your feedback, and we want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart and the co-commissioner's heart as well.
Yes.
So sit back, relax, drink your little cafecito, smoke your little cigar, drink your little bourbon, your little whiskey, and listen to two distinguished gentlemen talk about
who I wish they could see, but there's nothing here in front of us.
There isn't.
You know why? Because you guys have done all the hard work already.
Yep.
You've gotten there.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe a couple of tweaks here and there, and which we're going to try to impart to you now. But for the most part, there's nothing new that we're going to give to you that's going to be so awe-inspiring and a thunderbolt from heaven telling you, oh, my God, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah. No, there's no...
Otherwise, you would have done it last week.
Yeah. There's no sneaky links today,
No.
all right? This is it. If you don't have those players on your team or their backups or someone to plug in case someone gets injured, shame on you. Shame on you. And you've gotten this far. If you've gotten this far by that luck, by not having any depth on your
Listen,
bench.
I hope that luck continues for you.
Hopefully. I lost in one of the champions in the second round. Didn't make it to the championship in one league. However, I am in the championship in the other. So I am gathering as much information as I can, and hopefully my information can help you guys win your championship game. All right, let's get down to this week number 17, final episode of 2023.
What's first, Commish?
We start off with the weather. Now, the weather, obviously, it's Tuesday, so believe me, it changes Thursday and Saturday. There's one game on Saturday, Sunday, and as well as Monday. All right, well,
there's no game on Monday.
Oh, there's no Monday night game?
No.
Then I digress. I do apologize. All right, so that's even better. So you're going to know whether you won
Sunday night
or you lost on Sunday night. So relax.
Will it be a happy new year or not?
All right, we're going to start with the Jets and Browns this Thursday night, partly cloudy. All right, it's going to be at Cleveland, 42, believe it or not, 42 degrees in Cleveland in December, late December.
I don't know where this bad weather is, but it certainly didn't show up this NFL season.
Sure didn't. 40% chance of precipitation at 8:15 p.m., so please check the weather report. However, we'll get into that man, Amari well-dressed Cooper,
Yes,
we'll get into him.
We'll name for him.
We'll see if that affects him at all. And then we got the Lions and the Cowboys in the Dome. That's not going to affect anybody. Hopefully, Dak, if you guys have any Dak Prescott on your team, hopefully it helps him out. Hopefully it helps my man CeeDee Lamb and the running game for the Lions, Gibbs. Hopefully he gets the ball. And all you Amon-Ra owners and Laporta owners. All right. Dolphins and Ravens. Big game. Big game for my Dolphins here. Dolphins and Ravens in Baltimore. It's going to be a tough game. 2% chance of rain. 45 degrees. Not going to be that cold.
It's a little chilly for a Dolphin up there, but it's not unplayable.
It's not unplayable. It's not unplayable. And then you got Patriots at the Bills at Buffalo. Here's a big one here. It's 37 degrees, a little chilly, but then against the Patriots, they're used to the cold weather, so they should be okay with that one as well.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to affect either one of those two teams.
I don't think so. 33% chance of rain at 1 p.m. So check the weather reports. Falcons at the Bears in Chicago, 35 degrees, 17% chance of rain. Then you got, and the winds here, I don't have any updates on the wind forecast. Please check the wind for the kickers. All right.
Yes, you wouldn't believe how the wind's miles per hour affects a kicker's percentage. Believe me, I heard about it for a week.
So just to piggyback off that, the wind percentage is 15 mile per hour winds or above, 30% chance of the kicker making it. However, if it's
I don't think you got those right, but
I believe so. 32% or lower. 15.
Oh, okay, 30% lower. All right, I got it.
Right, and then if you have if the winds are less than 15%, do your research, check it out. Your percentages go up
because you wouldn't want to not start Jason Sanders because of 15 mile per hour winds.
Well, that's the mistake I made. All right, I made that mistake. All right, so Titans versus.
Who was the highest scoring kicker this week?
Yeah, it was Jason Sanders, unfortunately, and it would have got me into the in the championship game, but I made a fatal mistake. But I guess that's too much research, too many analytics, and it just got to my head. All right, Titans at the Texans. All right, it's in a dome. Should be good to go. The Raiders at the Colts in the dome. Panthers at the Jaguars. It's clear. 56 degrees, 0% chance of precipitation. I think that game is going to be okay. However, I don't know about the players over there. So we'll get into that. Rams at the Giants. All right, at the Meadowlands. Now, I do know there's a wind gust in the Giants Stadium at the Meadowlands. I do know that for a fact. However, no one's really going to start the Giants kicker. But the Rams kicker, they do. This kid's playing pretty well. Okay,
yes,
I can't pronounce his last name, but he's playing pretty well. And the Rams are hot right now.
Yes, and they're still fighting for a playoff spot.
Yes, they are.
I believe they're in, but they got to keep it.
Yep.
They got to make sure they keep it in. So.
Yeah. So 43 degrees in that game.
Should be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, well, not with the Giants. Let's throw it to Puka.
Don't know. Now they kind of.
I don't know. About that.
They off Tommy Cutlets. At halftime, and they put Tyrod Taylor back in. And one of my sneaky plays of the week is actually Darius Slayton. Tyrod Taylor does like to throw the ball deep.
Yeah, he sure does.
But we'll get to that.
All right. Cardinals at the Eagles. 3% chance of rain, 43 degrees. Should be good to go. Again, check the weather forecast, the wind gusts over there. Saints at the Buccaneers. It's clear. All right, 63 degrees. They're not going to rain there. 49ers at the Commanders. Oof, 47 degrees. 2% chance of rain. But, McCaffrey's going to eat that game. Steelers at the Seahawks. All right. This one here, 50 degrees, 46% chance of rain. Chargers at the Broncos, 46 degrees, 7% chance of rain. And again, Mile High Stadium, 46 degrees, late December. It's just, I'm not used to that. Are you? I don't remember seeing these type of temperatures.
No,
this
I
time
expect
of year.
a blizzard in Denver.
Me too.
About now, I expected. The Giants played Green Bay, in one of the playoff games, and it was -4.
I know. And then you got the Bengals at the Chiefs. All right, the Chiefs are not playing well these days, and we'll see how that game goes. 34 degrees, 1% chance of rain, and then you have the Packers at the Vikings, and that's in the dome. That should be good to go.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the injuries. All right, there's been a couple of significant injuries as of late, as of week 16, that could affect you guys.
Injuries.
Injuries are the worst.
Goodness, it was like that all year.
All right, let's talk about the.
Why does it seem like every year we get more injuries?
It happens, man. It happens. The Jets at the Cleveland Browns. All right, anyone of significance for the New York Jets? Not really. Zach Wilson's not playing, but I don't think anybody cares about that. And Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR was I believe they put him. He's injured, and they called up. What's the other backup? PJ Walker. They called up PJ Walker.
Yeah, I believe it just came over late. I think they're going to put him on IR.
Yeah.
So he's done for the year.
Yeah. So Kareem Hunt's questionable with this groin, but I think he plays. You have to worry about that. All right, and that's all you have there. I think no one cares. All they care about is that man, Amari Cooper, and Smoking Joe. Smoking Joe's been fantastic as of late.
Yes.
Then you have the Detroit Lions at the Dallas Cowboys. All right, anyone significant for the Lions? No one of significance as of now. Everyone should be good to go on that one.
Yeah, these are early injury reports.
Right.
I think the final one comes out on Wednesday, tomorrow. So please check, make sure.
Yep. No one as of late for the Dallas Cowboys. I believe their all-pro guard played against the Dolphins, and I think he plays this week against the Detroit Lions. And the Lions defense plays pretty well. Let me tell you, they got a good run defense, and they're gonna need that guard for Tony Pollard. Any Tony Pollard owners out there, please monitor that. If you have anybody in depth on your bench, maybe you want. I'm not saying think about starting, but you never know. Tony Pollard really hasn't gotten into the end zone, especially with that fantastic stop by the Miami Dolphins on the 1 yard line, which would have helped you guys out big time.
Well, listen, we called it last week when we said our concerns for some players. Pollard was on that list against a good run stopping Dolphins. Surprisingly, number 4 in the league run stopping. And they're just coming another meat grinder in Detroit. They don't do well against the passes out of the backfield, but they do well against the runs. And Pollard's in for a tough game.
Yeah. All right. New England versus Buffalo. Latest injury report. Ramondre Stevenson might be coming back this week. Now,
I have one question.
Yeah. Why? Because you know what? These guys are professionals and they want to play. But that hurts Ezekiel Elliott owners, man. Please monitor that one. If this guy comes back, you're going to have to really think about this. I think Zeke still gets the bulk of the carry, but you know Bill Belichick. You know how he operates. You know you can't get into that man's mind.
There are 2 games left in the year for New England. They already know what Ramondre Stevenson is. Why risk a further injury?
Well, you and I wouldn't risk him, but you know Bill. All right. Hunter Henry is questionable. He's a nice tight end. If he's in the game, Zappy loves to go to that guy. All right. And anyone from the Buffalo Bills, no one of significance is on the injury report. Then you have Atlanta Falcons at the Chicago Bears. Deontay Foreman is going to be coming back this week. He was out for personal reasons only. It wasn't like he was injured. So Khalil Herbert did get the ball. He got 20 carries last week. However, he got 20 carries when DJ Moore got hurt. So don't forget, if DJ Moore is healthy, you got to temper your expectations on Khalil Herbert. I don't know if he gets 20 carries. He should be getting the ball a little bit more passes out the backfield.
I can't wait till Eberflus is fired.
Yeah.
They mismanaged all those offensive weapons in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And Khalil Herbert, you and I spoke about this off camera, but, he should have had a bigger and better year. If you remember, he was one of the top people with the most amount of hype coming into the draft. Mm-hmm. Him, Rashad White, and I forget James Cook. Those 3 were those early 3rd, 4th, 5th round pickups that were going to win you the league. Herbert unfortunately got hurt, but I don't think they ever committed to him enough. And that 3-headed back monster thing that it
didn't work.
That didn't work either.
No.
So I think they mismanaged all their talent. So we'll see.
All right.
I can't wait till he leaves.
Yeah. Cole Kmet is questionable. He had a knee injury, and he's been playing fantastic as of late. So if you have Cole Kmet, you better start thinking about maybe someone off the waiver wire. Likely Tucker from Green Bay is someone you could take a look at. All right. He's been playing pretty well.
Tucker Kraft.
Yeah, Tucker Kraft. All right. So if you have Cole Kmet and you're looking for someone on the waiver wire for your championship game, he's not a bad option there. Okay, so just take a look. All right, the Raiders versus Indianapolis Colts. Mike Myers questionable. I don't know if he plays this week. And this is a big one. Josh Jacobs might come back. That hurts a couple of owners because you know what? Zamir White has been on people's bench, and they picked him up 2 or 3 weeks ago. And he did pretty well last week. He got 20 carries, about 140 or so. So if Josh Jacobs comes back, Zamir White takes a back seat. He does.
Well, listen, that was another thing we got correct on this. We said that the Raiders game under Antonio Pierce was to run the ball. Mm-hmm. And they just because Josh Jacobs wasn't there, Zamir White was going to assume that role, and they gave those opportunities to him. Yeah. Volume is king. Yeah. He got the opportunity to showcase that.
Colts injury, Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman really hurt a lot of owners, a lot of you owners out there, because I got the information late, and Cincinnati Bengals game already started. I would have put T. Higgins in the game, and I had to switch off, and I had to put Eckler in the game, and that really hurt me in a playoff game. So please do your best to try to find out if Michael Pittman is playing this week. However, I don't think you pick anybody else. Josh Downs didn't do well.
No, Minshew looks like a little magic has worn off the last few weeks
without his main man.
Yeah. Yes, definitely without his main man. But there's nothing you could, going back to the Pittman situation, there's nothing you could have done.
No.
As an owner of of Mike Pittman, you were given that information at the time you were given it. That's it. It wasn't like before 1:00, before the game started. So as much as you're upset about it, you didn't do anything wrong.
No. So listen,
What were you going to do? Not start him after they said he was going to play?
Just monitor that. All right, monitor that situation. All right, the Rams at the New York Giants. Anyone of significance? No, not really for both teams. All right, I think everybody's good to go there. Arizona and the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a Tuesday. Marquise Brown's still out. No one else of significance here. Okay, for the Eagles as well. I don't think anyone got injured. They're firing all cylinders, and they're still trying to make the playoff push. I don't know if they're still playing. They might be still playing for the number 1 seed in the NFC. I'm not too. I think they are. Don't quote me on that one. Okay. The Saints versus the Buccaneers. Anyone here? No one of significance. Any fancy-worthy individual. So we'll move on. San Fran at Washington. Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's a big one. Okay. If Brock Purdy does not play this week against the Washington Commanders, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people take a big hit. A lot of people. The tight end.
Sam Darnold becomes a big waiver wire pickup for your championship run.
Could you imagine starting Sam Darnold in championship game? There
have been weirder circumstances. You can contest to that.
Yeah, I won with Tyrod Taylor one year. I remember.
That's right.
All right, the championship. So
Brock, for all accounts that we've heard, it's a stinger. It's not a concussion, right?
No.
So chances are he'll probably have a couple of off days for practice, veteran rest days. Mm-hmm. But I think he'll play.
Yeah, so do I. All right.
But the big one I think is out is a bigger one. It's Elijah Mitchell.
I don't know if that's the biggest one because you know what? Mason is a reliable individual. I'm gonna tell you who's a big one in my opinion in that offense is that left tackle. He got hurt yesterday. If that left tackle is missing, okay, that's gonna create a they're gonna have to game plan for something else because when you look at the next gen stats that you and I looked off the air, where did McCaffrey's run go? Most of all his runs went to where?
Left.
The left side. And it shows you.
Tackle, yes.
So if you guys don't believe me, look on NFL Next Gen Stats, go to rushing and go to charts, and you will see how many times McCaffrey runs and which way he runs. He gets the majority of his runs, his rushes, over 5 yards to the left side of that line. If that left tackle is not there, they're going to have to figure something out. I mean, I'm sure they will, but just something to monitor. All right?
Yeah, maybe look for some snap movement, move a tight end over. Mm-hmm. They'll find a way to get him open.
All right, let's talk about Brian Robinson for the Commanders. I believe he's questionable. He might be out. And then Chris Rodriguez, who did well last week. I believe he got 2 touchdowns. He's hurt. He's spotted in a boot on his right foot. I don't know if he plays this weekend, but if so, who you?
I don't know.
Who plays?
Would you start any of those running backs against San Fran's defense?
No, but if you have nobody, you don't trust anybody, I don't know. Your championship game, are you really going to trust anybody? I go with ATM. I really would. All right. Carolina at the Jaguars. Miles Sanders is questionable. Zay Jones was practicing again. This individual, you know what? When he's in the game, you could kind of trust him. At the same token, these guys, I don't know what they're giving people down in Jacksonville. I really don't. Trevor Lawrence has been banged up all year long. An MRI, he's expected to go into MRI for concussion, for his knee, for his back, and they still say he has a chance to play. I mean, come on.
He's the bionic man.
I mean, this guy's, I don't know what Peterson's doing down there. Jesus. All right.
Well, listen, at least they're playing. After they're getting injured, there's a lot of teams they get injured and they don't see them for the next 5 weeks.
Don't forget, they are going to get one of their offensive linemen back. I believe either the left tackle is coming back for the Jaguars. Maybe
that's why ATN has been disappearing.
Maybe they help ATN out there. All right. So you got the Dolphins at Baltimore. There's a big hit here. Jalen Waddle has a high ankle sprain. He's going to be done for the rest of the season, regular season, and that hurts. That hurts big time. All right, so Waddle is out. Nobody cares about Robbie Chosen. He got a concussion. All right, but Waddle is a big one there. All right. So
I don't think you're going to ride into your fantasy championship with Robbie Chosen.
No. But again, if you do have Waddle, you better start. If you guys want to know who the backup to Waddle is, you're gonna roll the dice with Cedric Wilson. by all means, go ahead. But I noticed when Waddle went out the game, they went to the tight ends a lot. Smythe, all right, over the middle.
Yes.
Got 5 catches or 5 or 6 catches. So it's someone else, if you need a tight end, maybe somebody you take a look at. All right. Keaton Mitchell, obviously, it's a shame what happened to him last week. Tennessee Titans versus Houston. Anyone of his significance? Will Levis. That's about it. And C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud, I believe he might play this week.
Yes.
Do you roll him out there, C.J. Stroud?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, there you have it. If you have C.J. Stroud on your team, championship game, are you rolling out C.J. Stroud or Joe Flacco? Which one you doing?
Joe Flacco.
Wow. Smoking Joe gets the nod over C.J. Stroud in the championship game.
Yes, at this point. Yes.
Wow. I can't believe this.
He's throwing 40 passes a game. There's no guarantee C.J.
44.
Stroud he's throwing over 40. That means 44.
I just cannot believe.
But here, C.J. Stroud is not going to get that volume.
I cannot believe we're talking about Joe Flacco. I just can't believe you're in championship game.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
my God. It's crazy.
And he's done well.
Yes, he has, but I just still can't believe it, man. All right. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Seahawks. Kenny Pickett is going to be out. They already said they're going to start Mason Rudolph, and he did well. All right.
Yes.
He did very well.
He did very well for a certain Mr. Pickens.
Yeah, he sure did. All right. No one on the Seahawks of significance. I believe the running back Walker is going to play. He's tweaked up a little bit with the ankle, but I think he plays.
I think he's going to play too, and he looked so much better than Charbonnet this past week.
Yep. All right. Los Angeles versus Denver. Keenan Allen still questionable. I'm not sure if he plays or not. If he does play, do you trust him with the quarterback? With quarterback playing with the Chargers? Stick? Do you trust him? Who knows?
I say if Keenan plays, he's gonna get thrown to. He's good for at least 8 to 10 targets, I believe.
All right, this is another big one here. Cortland Sutton concussion. I don't know if Cortland Sutton.
There's a
Sutton
chance
plays.
He doesn't play. I hope that would be a big loss to a few owners.
Cincinnati Bengals versus Kansas City Chiefs. Jamal Chase. They say Jamal Chase is going to come back with a separated shoulder. I don't know why he's playing, but if you do have T. Higgins and Jamal Chase plays, you have to temper your expectations with T. Higgins. All right, it's a shame. I wouldn't put this individual out there. I know they got to win, but why would you put your horse with possibly getting injured even more? All right, Isaiah Pacheco got a concussion. His helmet fell off twice. You guys saw the game.
He got the knee to the head.
Yeah, got a knee to the head. He's not, and I believe he might be out this week. And Jared McKinnon put on IR, so that means
Clyde Edwards-Helaire,
CEH gets to start.
Yes.
And he's going to get all the volume over there.
Yes.
You roll the dice with CEH in your championship game. You got to think about that, all right?
I would roll him over Chuba Hubbard.
Eckler,
yes.
ATM.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way those guys are performing right now, absolutely. CEH.
Can you believe that? All right, there you have it right here. All
it's not name recognition at this point. It's what have you done for me lately?
Absolutely. Green Bay versus Minnesota. Christian Watson still out. Jaden Reed didn't play, and Dante with that three-star receivers are all out.
Yeah, I know. And earlier you and I were talking about how we were surprised just taking a look at the year-end stats so far.
No.
Jordan Love is up there in a top 8 fantasy quarterback.
Can't believe it.
And I don't know where that came from, but.
Who's he throwing it to?
So everyone's hurt.
So that means Romeo Dobbs moves up.
Yes, absolutely.
So think about it.
So you're telling me, Romeo, you have a chance.
You have a chance, Romeo. All right, the Minnesota Vikings.
And then the other guy we did mention, Tucker Kraft.
Yes. If you need a tight end.
Yes.
All right, TJ Hawkinson is out. All right, he's I believe they put him on IR. He's not coming back. He got a torn ACL, MCL. It's a shame. Jordan Mason, he's week to week with an ankle sprain. I'm not sure if he plays.
That's a big loss for Minnesota.
Yeah. And that's all you have for the injury report. All right.
It sucks.
It does suck.
It sucks because, you start to hear a lot of teams have a lot of promise on paper. Injuries is the great, equalizer.
Yep. All right. We're going to go into, right now, that was the injury report. Now we're going to go into the quarterbacks, running backs, and the wide receivers for the strength of schedule, who we think we're going to, who have good chances or good matchups this week.
Yeah, some of these are no-brainers.
Obviously. But let's talk about, obviously, Brock Purdy versus Washington.
Yeah.
But do you start Russell Wilson over the Chargers here?
Yeah, I believe I would roll with Russell this week.
Okay. With no Cortland Sutton out there.
Even without any Cortland Sutton.
Okay.
You still have Marvin Mims. You still have Judy.
Okay. And yeah.
And they're gonna run the ball.
And then you have Kyle Murray. Kyle Murray out there against Philly at Philly.
Yeah.
Look what Tyrod Taylor
another
did.
Could be another big shootout.
Yeah.
Philly's defense, especially against the pass, is really bad, and they're obviously we all believe they're going to be playing from behind. So there's going to be a lot of passing. Maybe Trey McBride has a triple figure a yardage game.
I hope so. I'm firing up in championship game.
Yeah,
let's go. I like it.
That was for you, Commissioner.
I know. I saw what you did. All right. I don't think Tannehill versus Houston. I don't think you start Tannehill. And then obviously Bryce Young is really, really struggling this year, his rookie year. Dak against Detroit. They got a pretty good defense. All right. So temper your expectations on Dak Prescott. Hurts against Arizona is a good start. I believe so. I believe it's a good start. Let's look at those are pretty much the quarterbacks who we feel as though who are good starts. All right, let's talk about the quarterbacks who we feel as though are not good starts. All right, and here they go right now. Joe Flacco versus the Jets. You talked about him, Smoking Joe. Do you start Smoking Joe for all the owners out there?
Yes, I'm still starting Smoking Joe.
Do you think Amari?
I'm starting Smoking Joe over Russell Wilson.
Do you think Amari Well-Dressed Cooper, even though that's someone else's name, but do you think Amari Cooper is going to have a game like he had against the Jets cornerbacks?
Listen, is Joe Flacco going to go throw for 400 yards? Probably not. Is Amari Cooper going to have 254? Probably not. He's going to get 80 to 90 yards, maybe a touchdown.
I think Njoku eats on this one.
I think Njoku eats, and Elijah Moore gets something.
And, against the Jets.
And is going to be, and I'm saying Joe as more of a game manager in this one. He's not going to be a stud. But still, this is the game where they're going to reestablish the run because the Jets' run defense is a little suspect. So Kareem Hunt and Ford and the crew, they're going to have a little bit more play, in my opinion.
All right. That's a good call. All right. Tua versus Baltimore in Baltimore. You take your chance on Tua?
I would play Tua over Flacco, yes.
Okay.
I would play Tua over Flacco and Russell Wilson.
Okay. We know you're not starting Trevor Siemian over the Cleveland Browns and Trevor Lawrence in Carolina. Carolina doesn't have a bad defense. Trevor Lawrence is really nicked up, man. So I'm not sure you trust Trevor Lawrence against Carolina. And obviously Howell, I think they bench him. I think they bring Brissett in the game. I really do. And then you have Browning at KC. At KC, it's a tough one there. And then
I don't know how tough that is anymore.
Well, their defense is still pretty good. They're still pretty good. And let me tell you, man, KC, I know for some reason the Raiders play them tough. They always play them tough. It's a rivalry for many, many years. Now you're playing the Bengals, okay, in KC. Are they going to go back-to-back games where they're going to throw a dud? Are they?
Listen. We've said that plenty of times this year about do you expect them to play a dud, and we were surprised that they did. In this instance, I don't think it's going to be a close game.
All right,
and it might not be high scoring though. I will say that.
All right, let's talk about Josh Allen at New England. New England got a tough defense. All right, New England has a tough defense.
Yes, even though they're playing in Buffalo, New England always has a way to shut down your main weapon.
Yep.
And obviously, Josh Allen is the main weapon.
Yep. And the final one I want to talk about is Detroit.
Okay.
Because this one here, Jared Goff against the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. And Jared Goff is not good on the road. He throws a lot of picks and gets sacked a lot.
Yes, and he's had trouble with turnovers the last few weeks. Yes, and I know that we went on in our last show, the one we did before this. We have two owners in our league going at it, and one of his problems is who does he start? He's got Tua and he's got Jared. Which one do you start? And at the time, I said I would start Tua over Goff because of what you just said. And as of right now, as we're sitting here in this Tuesday evening, I'm going to stick with that. Okay. I'm still picking Tua over Goff, but I'm going to still keep doing research and probably flip-flopping it in my mind from now until game time.
All right. I'm going to go to the running backs real quick.
And let me just say that the only reason why I would do that is because for the most part, Detroit's got a healthy offensive complement of players, whereas Miami's a little banged up, especially with the loss of Waddle.
That's true. True. Good call. All right, let's talk about the running backs who we think might not do that well for startums and situms. All right, so just listen up, guys, and ladies and gentlemen, listen up.
Don't understand that first one.
I don't understand the first one. You got Kamara against Tampa Bay. I think you fire up Kamara. I think he gets the catches out the backfield, which is perfectly fine. Then you got the Arizona Connor at Philly. Listen, if Connor's going to run up the middle, he's not going to get any. He's not going to do well. However, Connor, that's not where Connor makes his money. Connor makes his money on the drop off passes. And again, if you look on next gen stats and you look on where he got the ball, mostly it was mostly to the sidelines, and then he runs after the ball. He may catch a little dump off pass in the middle, and Kyle Murray loves to give him the ball up the middle. Okay, so Connor, I think you fire up. Kamara, you fire up. Then you got Saquon against the Rams. All right, this is a problem here. The Rams are going to be up, in my opinion. All right, it's going to take away Saquon. Their defense has got to play a little better to hold them up. I don't know if they hold up the Rams' offense. So Saquon, you have to temper your expectations with Saquon in your championship game. I mean,
I'm not going to challenge Brian Daboll on being head coach. I'm far from it. Nowhere even close to to being that. But why aren't they using Saquon more in the passing game?
I agree with you.
I mean,
I've been saying
really,
that
it's not like he hasn't proven that he could catch the ball. Did people forget his rookie year? I just don't understand. I saw the game last night, and it's third down. They took him out for Breida, and I'm like, why? It's not like Saquon is not a threat.
Coaching.
We did the same thing when we spoke about. I forget now who it was, but as soon as you take him out of the game,
they know.
Then now the defense knows you're not going to go to your running back.
It was Eckler.
It was Eckler. Yes, right.
Once you take him out the game, you know it's not going to be a pass.
So
it's going to be a
would
pass.
you lessen the thought process on defense, the worry on defense of saying, let me account for that guy?
Yeah.
I would think that the more threats they have, the harder it's going to be to play defense.
All right. Tony Pollard against Detroit, temper your expectations because Tony Pollard, Detroit has a fantastic run defense. However, if he's all you got, then you're going to have to fire him up. They don't throw him the ball much either. We talk about that all the time. Not many screens. Dak, with that here you go stuff that he says, they just try to run in between the tackles. They're not giving him many sweeps. He has the speed. I just don't understand why they're not doing that. Raheem Mostert at Baltimore. This is a tough one. They're gonna have to try to establish the run because there is no Waddle out there. But
then Dallas did stuff Mostert up. He really outside of that one screen, that quick screen pass to go for a touchdown, he was mostly bottled up for the afternoon running wise.
He was. And they play a tough defense, so temper your expectation on Mostert. Then you have the running backs against Miami. Miami's got a good run defense. They have a good interior line. They don't have great linebackers. If you get past their first line of defense and they get to the second level, that's where they're going to make their money. And I believe, let me tell you, they get to the second level a lot, even with Lamar, because you have to worry about him. And once that occurs, their linebackers open up. And I think, even though it says here that you shouldn't start him, I say Gus Edwards is a start. I really do.
Well, let me just say this, Commissioner. Last week, one of your players that you said be on the lookout for, who's going to probably see more, is Justice Hill.
Yeah.
All right. And so Gus, I believe, is going to be the start. Right. I understand that. But Justice Hill yesterday, he got a lot of play.
Yeah.
He got a lot of yardage. He got a lot of those passes. All the plays that went to Keaton went to Justice Hill. And I think that's going to be a trend that's going to continue, especially against the Dolphins.
Yeah. I'm going to go out right now and I'm going to tell you who I think is going to have a fantastic game. And all you Bijan Robinson owners are going to be happy with what I'm about to say. Bijan Robinson, you should fire him up. And I'm going to tell you why. Chicago gives up a lot of catching. They give a lot of receptions to running backs. A lot. Okay, if they're going to turn around and start giving the ball to Cordell Patterson or Algier, I think Bijan eats this week. And he's going to propel you to your fantasy championship. That's how I feel. I don't have Bijan, but I think he will do fantastic for you this week. That's just my call. Okay? That's mine. Temporary expectation on David Singletary. Singletary plays Tennessee. They got a good run defense. All right. And I believe the King Henry against Houston. All right, we talked about that.
Yeah, I know. 2 weeks ago, he didn't do well at all.
Right.
I don't know if that continues. I mean, this could be the end run for Derrick Henry.
Yep, I think this might be his last year, and I just think for your championship game, King Henry, if you have him, I think volume is key. Like the co-commissioner says, I think
Derrick Henry is gonna be let go, and I think New England's gonna pick him up, and he'll be one of those guys. Getting the 25 touchdowns, but not even breaking 500 yards rushing for the year.
Yeah, it's all about that. All right. Ty Chandler against Green Bay. I think you can fire him up. That's if Madison does. Even though Madison played, Ty Chandler got the ball. They got away from the script last week. I think he still gets the ball.
I think that was a mistake.
Yeah.
We highlighted the fact that the Detroit does well against the run, but not against receptions for running backs, and they just lost all sight of that.
Yeah. And there's another one. And number one on this list here, you're gonna have, and it pains me to say this name of this individual, Eckler against Denver. On paper, it's a must start. However, you better temper your expectations with Eckler. I'm sure you Eckler owners see what I see. They take him out on when Spiller comes in. I think they want to see what Spiller does. And listen, if he's all you got and you put him out there and you get 11 to 15 points, you just say your prayer, say your praises, and God bless you. All right. Otherwise, you better temper your expectation with this individual.
So you would say you would sit Eckler and favor Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
I would.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
All right.
See, name recognition, that's what a lot of, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say anything. It takes cojones to take out an Eckler and put a Clyde Edwards-Helaire in for your championship game.
And you know what?
But these are the tough decisions that people have to make.
But this is what we're telling you guys. We're telling you guys week number 7 during the Stardoms and Sit-Em segment. This is what we would do. This is our recommendations to you guys, because we've seen a lot of the football, like you guys have seen a lot of the football, and the eyes don't lie. And I'm sure the eyes didn't lie for you guys either. All right. So let's go to the wide receivers real quick. All right. Who don't to start? Believe it or not, number one on the list here is Amari Cooper against the Jets. I think that one is a lie. I think you fire up Amari Cooper, and
there's no way in the world you're sitting.
No
Amari
way
Cooper
you're sitting Amari. They have here DJ Moore against Atlanta, and Atlanta has a pretty good defense, and DJ Moore is hurt a little bit. So you know what? You better think about something else with DJ Moore. Again, championship game. There's no time to play games here.
Now, even though he is their wide receiver one, if I did have a better option,
yes.
If I had T. Higgins,
I'd start T. Higgins. Correct. All right, then you have Garrett Wilson against Cleveland. I'm saying sit him, in my opinion, if you have something else better. Then you have Calvin really had a great game last week. It was a lot of garbage time.
Yes, it was, and all second half garbage time.
But you know what? That's what wins championships.
Well, are we going to guarantee they're going to have garbage time against Carolina?
Well, Carolina has a good defense.
Absolutely not.
They have a good secondary, so temper expectations. Think about who, if you want to start Calvin Ridley, if you're going to say to yourself, he's my stud, and you're in a championship game, good for you.
God bless you if he did.
God bless you. All right. All right, then you got T. Higgins at KC. I still
see, in that case, I would start DJ Moore over Calvin Ridley,
even with a bum ankle.
Well,
there you have it. That's what he would do. I don't know if I'll do that. If Trevor Lawrence plays, I might start Calvin Ridley with a bum ankle for DJ Moore. All right, or someone else that you have.
I just don't think there's going to be passing volume there. I think Etienne. I think they're going to try to run the ball. Etienne might have I know you don't.
No way.
Feel good about Etienne.
They've been trying to listen. They haven't ran that ball with Etienne in about 4 weeks. Why would they start now? All right, so let's digress. Fire up all the wide receivers. Amon-Ra, you start and you fire him up against Dallas. They have him here that one of the worst, great defenses. He's not going to, he always gets open. Even if you double team that individual, he's going to get his passes. And there's another one. Does Keenan Allen really play against the Denver Broncos? I don't know. If he does, I don't think you fire up Keenan Allen. I'm sorry, Keenan Allen owners. I mean, he really let you down. He was fantastic, got you to the playoffs. And if you're so lucky to get in a championship game, I don't think you trust him.
I don't know. A lot of people might not have options at this point in the year, but if you don't, and Keenan Allen is one of the guys that got you there, I don't think you have a choice but to start him.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that gets me, the thing that I get worried about is I don't know what his rapport is with Stick, and does Easton Stick throw to him, or is he going to?
He would throw to
Quentin Johnson.
No, I think he'll do. Quentin Johnson's been getting the ball because he hasn't been. I think Keenan Allen will get fed.
Then
the
if
ball.
That's the case, then you just basically answered the question here. I think you start Keenan Allen.
But that's I don't know.
It's worrisome, yes.
I'm going to tell you another reason why. In the goal line, all right, they ran with Easton Stick. They didn't even trust Eckler on first and goal.
I'll tell you who he did like, Gerald Everett.
Yeah, that's another one. Yes, if you need a tight end, he loved Gerald. He targeted him a lot.
Yes.
He sure did. All right. Obviously, temper expectations with anyone besides Tyreek Hill against Baltimore. And you fire up my man, the old dog, Mike Evans. He's fantastic all year. All right.
Yes, and is Marshawn Lattimore playing? That's what we have to find out. He does poorly against Marshawn.
No, he doesn't. I don't think they're starting Marshawn Lattimore because I believe the coach did say Marshawn Lattimore and Michael Thomas already come back. I don't think he's gonna sit them this week. I believe Marshawn Lattimore. I don't think he's gonna play. Doesn't matter. You fire up Mike Evans and you ride him to your championship game. All right, the wide receiver Drake London playing Chicago. I don't think if you have Drake London, you have to rely on him.
Listen, all year, we talk about how good he could be, and then the next week it's a big letdown.
Yeah, he's like Gabe Davis, up 1 week, down next week.
But this,
I'm just saying.
Listen, I really, fantasy wise, Arthur Smith could be a great football coach. Obviously you don't make it to the NFL for not being good, right? Mm-hmm. For fantasy wise, he's not a good fantasy football coach.
All right, don't draft anybody who next year. All right, so all you owners out there in my league, don't draft any Bijan or anybody.
Think about this: Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson.
He doesn't know.
Would you right now, sitting here? You're starting a dynasty league,
mm-hmm.
right? Your choice: Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson. Who do you take?
I'm taking Gibbs.
There you go.
I'm taking Gibbs. All right, let's go down to a fire up DK Metcalf. All right, versus the Pittsburgh Steelers defense because they're missing 2 free safeties. I think he has a great game. That's if Geno Smith starts targeting him a little bit more. Okay, he's going to the run game. All right, they need Pittsburgh to score a little bit more so they can start targeting. DK Metcalf is a star. Obviously, we all know about A.J. Brown. You fire him up, no problems. Pittman, if he plays against the Raiders, all right, Raiders are playing great defense now.
Unbelievable.
They're playing great defense. They're gonna get at Minshew. Minshew. So that means Pitts' average depth of target probably 5 to 10 yards because he don't have time to drop back. So he's gonna get peppered a lot. Pittman, you fire up Pittman. Okay. Here's one. Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs against New England.
We're gonna establish the Rookie Let Me Down award.
Oh, Stephon Diggs.
The inaugural winner will be Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs. I'm gonna say it right now. You sit Stephon Diggs against New England. That's just me. Because if I made this championship game, he was not gonna see the game. He was not gonna see the field, in my opinion. I don't care if his name is Stephon Diggs. Those are the choices you're going to have to make as an owner. But I believe you sit Stephon Diggs this week. I think New England's not going to let them beat them. I think it's going to try. Listen, I'm starting Cook. Okay, in my championship game, I think they're going to focus on Cook and they're going to focus on Diggs. They're going to let Gabe Davis go deep. I believe Davis is going to eat. And I think, of course, Allen's going to eat up everything in the goal line. He's not going to throw the ball.
Yeah.
He's going to run everything in.
You might get a couple of passes to Kincaid, but yeah, definitely. It's hard to put up an argument for Stephon Diggs, where I believe it was 5 of the last 6 weeks he's had single-digit fantasy points. If you made it to your championship game with Stephon Diggs, then because you had to gut through 2 other games.
Well, I did.
Maybe
I have. I made the championship game with him.
That's tough to keep trying to rely on him to come through.
God. All right. I know everyone else out there is frustrated with him as well. Fire up Justin Jefferson. All right. Temper expectation with the wide receivers from the Redskins. Okay, because you're playing San Fran. Unless you have Jacoby Brissett, if they name him a starter, you might have to start thinking about Terry McLaurin out there. Okay, because they're going to be down. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot. Pickens. I don't think Pickens does what he did last week. I don't think he does against Seattle's defense. So if you have Pickens and you saw 1 week, you have to look at his average throughout the whole year. I don't think they utilize him a lot. And if you roll with him, then you got cojones. Let me tell you that much. All right. Fire up the Rams, wide receivers, Puka Nacua.
I'm sorry. Would you pick Pickens over Diggs?
Ooh. I might.
Yeah.
I might, yes. Pickens over Diggs. I might do that.
Yeah.
All right. Fire up Puka and Cup. However, I think this is going to be the Kyron Williams game. I don't think that they throw the ball over to Puka a lot. I don't think they have to, which stinks because I have them. Baltimore, Zay Flowers against Miami's cornerbacks. Temporary expectations with him. Isaiah Likey if you need a tight end. And then Tennessee, Nico Collins, I think, does well if he plays with C.J. Stroud. I think is a sit. DeAndre Hopkins, I believe, is a sit this week against Houston's defense. I really do.
Negative.
I don't think I keep saying it. I don't think Tannehill can get him the ball on a consistent basis. They don't. He's not an accurate deep ball passer. I think you sit Hopkins down if you have better options. I do.
I just don't see what any wide receiver option they have.
It doesn't matter. That means look what they did last week.
Keeney, they're going to throw the ball to Keeney all game.
Look what Hopkins was shut down last week. This week, they just passed. He was shut down.
That's a tough sit.
All right.
In my opinion.
Romeo Dobbs against Minnesota. I think you sit him. All right. Obviously, you fire up CeeDee Lamb's a star. Rashee Rice against Cincinnati. Listen, if that's all you got, it's not a bad start, but temper expectations. Any from Thielen against Jacksonville, I don't know. I don't know about that one. If you have something better, you could start him there. Jerry Jeudy last week, week number 16, his average air yards was 18 to 21 yards. I mean, Russell's throwing it deep. He loves to throw it deep. Okay, so if you, again, have the cojones to start Jerry Jeudy in your championship game because Cortland Sutton is out and you win, God bless you. I want to hear the put the comments downstairs and put the comments on the bottom. I want to see your game.
You almost have to analyze whether or not they're going to just try to run the ball over the Chargers and just call it a day, or they're going to try to actually pass. I don't think it's going to be a lot of passing volume, so you might get a couple of big plays from Jeudy, and that's it.
Yeah. Obviously, Olave is going to be a star. You fire him up. And then the tight end. All right, the tight end. The wide receivers from the Arizona Cardinals, I don't think are going to be. Yeah. I don't think they're going to.
Mike Wilson, maybe, if he comes back. You never know with any of these. Trey McBride probably be the only consistent receiver.
No.
And then Connor.
Right, and Connor. And then you have the San Fran. If obviously if Purdy plays, you do what you let Debo do what Debo does, as well as Kittle. And
he had an off game last week, but
yep.
But I think he turns it around.
Yep. All right. Tight ends real quick. This is gonna be real quick.
Kelsey.
Kelsey's another one. All right. Obviously, he was a little fire. He was a little upset. He hasn't been getting the ball lately. I think he's lost a step. I think this is Kelsey's last year. He definitely drops down next year's draft out of the first round, out of the second round. He might be a fourth or fifth round if he's on the board. I believe so.
I believe Kelsey's a little banged up. He's had a lot of injuries going back to even preseason. I think that there's too much attention paid to him. Yes, he's getting a little longer in the tooth. Yes, he's being more focused on defense, but I don't think he's washed up by any means. You still look at him; he catches that ball, he's ready to go. You just got to give him some help, and you know they've been playing money ball in KC with their wide receivers the last 2 years, and it didn't pan out this year.
All right, the Chargers. I think Everett's
put Kelsey on the Dolphins and see what he does.
Yeah, well, he'll be open more. Chargers. I think Everett is a good play this week for your chance. If you have Hawkinson, if you lost Hawkinson out there, Everett's a guy to pick up off the waiver wire, and you start him with confidence if Stick plays. I really do. Who's the tight end from Tennessee you were talking to me about? Ogunkwo. They're saying pick him up.
He's a sneaky waiver wire pickup. Tucker Kraft. Mm-hmm. And there was one other person. I'm escaping my mind right now, but yeah, definitely those two if you're in need of tight end help.
Yeah. All right. And we talked about the injuries. Cole Kmet is out for I believe he might be out for the Chicago Bears, so please be cognizant of that. And then Meyer is going to be out, and they really don't use the tight ends much in Oakland anyway. I think fire up Njoku. Waller had two big catches, but he got hurt at the last play, if everyone saw that. He's always, for some reason, every time he touches the ball, he comes down, he's hurt. He runs to the sideline. So if you're gonna stick with Waller for your championship game,
that's a big chance. Those two plays you were talking about happened late in the second half, but in the beginning of the game he wasn't targeted, and then when he dropped a few balls. So I wouldn't count on him.
I know who the guy you were talking about, the Minnesota tight end, the other one. I can't remember who his backup, and he was getting somewhere. Was it Irv Smith?
Irv went to Cincinnati.
Can't remember who the backup tight end was for the Minnesota Vikings. I don't think they utilized him much, but
I'm sorry. It was Drew Sample. It was the tight end for Cincinnati.
Okay. Oh, another individual, if Jamal Chase is out, who got a lot of burn, I cannot pronounce his last name, was the other wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals. Target him a lot over T. Higgins, right? He was drafted out of Princeton, so do your research and check him out. See how many targets he got. See his average depth of reception of targets. And they did
all that changes though if Jamar plays.
That's right.
Just keep that in mind. I mean, they went to their tight ends because of Jamar not being there, and because of T being really the only guy they're focused on downfield defensively. So obviously the middle's open a little bit more.
Yeah, that's pretty much. This says here who not to start pretty much. Evan Ingram. You got Carolina Panthers Their defense is pretty well against Evan. Obviously, you're going to start him because he got you where to your championship game. But just be aware of the fact that Carolina has pretty good defense against tight ends. Washington tight ends, Logan Thomas against San Fran. They've been throwing a lot over the middle of San Francisco. So if that's all you have, it's not a bad start. If you think about it, I mean, tight end position is pretty tough. You don't have stars in tight end position.
No, but if you're gonna go and roll with Logan Thomas, I think the best you got to hope for is garbage time.
Yeah.
Because I think that, for the most part, you're not going to get anything early on. They're going to shut them down, and then they're going to play, prevent D most of the game.
I think Dallas Goedert is going to have a good game. He's been getting a lot of targets with Philly.
Yes.
I think he's going to have a good game. All right, those are the tight ends.
All right. What's next?
We're going to talk about kickers.
No.
So pretty much the kickers.
Listen, the kickers. Hold on. Don't overanalyze the kickers.
Pretty much the kickers. Do your due diligence. I did my too much research and it got into my head, I guess. Do your research. Check out the win factor, and check out the coaches who go for it on fourth down a lot. And that was one of my decisions as well. Mike McDaniels always goes for it on fourth down, and I thought that he would go for it on 4th and 2. And he didn't. He kicked 5 field goals.
There's just too many variables. I don't make it overly complicated. Obviously, wind and the weather elements are a big factor.
Yeah.
But outside of that, really, it's a crapshoot. You don't know when one defense is going to stymie an offense to the point where they can't score touchdowns but only get field goals.
All right, the defenses, like the Rams over the Giants. However, look what they did against Philly. All right, but however, I think the Rams score quicker than Philly does, and it puts a lot of pressure on Tyrod Taylor. So that's one to stream. Obviously, everyone knows about we're not going to give you the obvious ones, okay? We're going to give you about the ones that people don't think about. I think the Raiders are a good pickup against Indianapolis. They're playing hot right now.
Yeah, if they're still out there, definitely pick them up. They're a league winner.
Absolutely. They are a league winner. Believe it or not, the Las Vegas Raiders are out there. If Jacksonville doesn't, if Trevor Lawrence doesn't play, I think it's crazy to say, but Carolina's defense, if everything else is picked up and people block you from picking stuff up, or if you have like a defense that's playing a phenomenal offense.
And the opposite, if Jacksonville's not picked up out there, I think they do well against Carolina.
They've been giving up a lot of points, in my opinion. Jacksonville, their defense hasn't been really doing anything.
I think the overriding factor is that they're playing at home.
Yeah. All right. So, and the Bears, don't forget the Bears against Atlanta. However, the Bears, like I talked about, the Bears give up a lot of
that might be a under 10 game for both teams.
I don't know. The Bears give up a lot of catches out the backfield to the running back, and Bijan's fast and he's powerful. So they might control the clock, and I don't know if you're going to get a lot of turnovers there.
Well, let's see. Let's try to pay attention and remember next week, just between you and me, that game is going to be decided by big plays.
Yeah.
It's the guy who gets the 60-yard bomb or 60-yard run that's going to win that team is going to win the game.
Yeah. All right. So what do we have left here? I was going to talk. We went over the games pretty much on who to start and who to sit, wide receivers and quarterbacks and tight ends. That's pretty much who to start and who to sit. We were going to go over each game here. However, we just kind of did that.
Yeah, if you just want to go quickly right over, the first game of the week is Thursday night, the Jets against Cleveland. You got to go, in my opinion, I'm going with Flacco, I'm going with Cooper, and Njoku. Even though the Jets have a pretty good pass D. I'm still going with them. And for the Jets, I'm hesitant on playing anyone with confidence.
Okay.
All right? Unless you got anything, we can move on.
Nope. I'm starting Breece Hall. All right, I am. They're going to feature him. Then the next game we have Detroit and Dallas. Obviously, you're firing up Gibbs, Laporta, Amon-Ra. Temper expectations on Jared Goff.
Absolutely,
because he turns the ball over on the road a lot.
Yeah, I'm firing up. I'm trusting Dak. I'm trusting CD. I'm not trusting Pollard. And that's about it.
Okay, New England at Buffalo. I'm tempering my expectations on Ezekiel Elliott. All right. I like that wide receiver, Douglas. I like him, but if he's in your championship game and he's all you got, I like him for a little start here and there if you need the points or if you have no one else or if you have injury, you're riddled by injuries. Buffalo.
I'm, obviously you're rolling with the quarterback there. Cook, I'm not trusting. If I have no other choice but to start him, I'm starting him, but I'm going to temper expectations, as you say. Stephon Diggs, if I have another choice, I'm not even going to play him. It might be a Dalton Kincaid and Gabriel Davis type game.
Because I've always said it, every time Josh Allen rolls out and he's in trouble, the first person he looks at is Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
All right. Atlanta versus Chicago. I just talked about that. I'm starting Bijan Robinson because Chicago gives up a lot of plays out the backfield, catches out the backfield.
Other than that, I've got no offensive interest in Drake London, Kyle Pitts, or Tyler Algier.
Chicago. Who do you got?
Justin Fields. I am going to worry a little bit about Khalil Herbert.
And DJ Moore with the injury.
DJ Moore, yes.
Okay. Las Vegas at Indianapolis.
I'm worried about Devontae. You know what? I don't know. I have to rethink.
All right,
that.
I'll do it. I got Josh Jacobs. If he starts, you start him. Okay. I think he plays.
We didn't really speak about Devontae, but Indy's defense. But they're playing at home. That's why I'm not sure.
But Devontae, you temper expectation with Devontae Adams. However, it's all you have. Then you fire him up. All right. Then you have Indianapolis. You start. Let me tell you. Temper expectations with Taylor, Jonathan Taylor, especially with this defense. His defense is playing well. They're gonna try to stop him. They're gonna force Minshew to play him. And hopefully if Pittman plays, they'll play the 8 men out of the box. But if Pittman does not play, they're gonna stack that box against.
They're
Taylor.
gonna stack that box. I think the guy who's a sneaky pick, which I don't think is gonna get you a ton of fantasy points. He's not gonna get a lot of catches, but he might get you a touchdown and a sneaky long bomb. Is Alec Pierce?
All right. Los Angeles versus New York Giants. Obviously, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams is going to eat the most, and Matt Stafford is going to eat.
Yes.
Okay, those are the 4 stars. Obviously,
I have a little surprise since that game is going to be high scoring. Well, at least for the Rams, and the Giants are going to be fighting to claw back. Tyrod Taylor has a propensity of throwing the ball deep. Darius Slayton is the recipient of that. If Jalen Hyatt plays, he might get one, but Darius Slayton right now would be the guy that I would choose as a wide receiver.
Barkley, do you fire him up with confidence or no?
No.
Okay.
No,
Temper
I'd be worried
expectation.
about Barkley, especially since they don't use him in the passing game.
That's true. Temper expectation. And again, Next Gen Stats shows that Barkley runs for some reason. He's always running at the teeth of the defense.
Yeah, he's between the tackles, which is the strength of the Rams.
Right. They don't work them on sweeps. They don't do anything. They did one screen last week, all right, or yesterday or 2 days ago. They had one screen, and I saw it, and it blew it up because one time. Okay. I understand the offensive line is not that great, but you know what? You got to incorporate more. All right, Arizona and Philadelphia. Fire up James Conner. And I like Kyle Murray, believe it or not.
Yeah.
He throws a lot. He runs the ball. He throws a lot. And if it's between Jake Brown and Kyle Murray, you fire Kyle Murray.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yes.
Philadelphia. Who you got?
Obviously, it's Hurts, DeAndre Swift,
And AJ. All right.
I'm worried. Dallas Goedert to get his, but because he's going to get his few, Devontae Smith's going to take the hit on that.
Which he did. They utilized him in the first 2 quarters yesterday's game, and then they went away from him.
Yeah, and I don't think anything that we say is a big surprise to everyone.
Right.
Everyone knew that when Goddard came back, it was going to hurt.
Yeah, we
Devontae.
said that a couple of weeks ago. All right, New Orleans, you fire up Olave and Kamara, and you know what? It's a sneaky one. Is
Derek Carr?
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
I like Derek Carr in this game.
Drew Carr.
Yeah.
You got that?
I got it. I think you fire. I think Derek Carr is going to have a decent game against Tampa Bay. Okay, because I think Tampa Bay's they're gunslinging. They throw the ball around, and it's going to be a high scoring game.
Yeah, Tampa's defense hasn't been that great this year,
Right.
and so I think that's going to be a pretty high scoring game.
All right, you fire up.
Yes,
Mike Evans. Temper expectations on Godwin.
Yes.
And Rashad White, you fire up.
Yes, Rashad White
There
and
you
Baker
go.
Mayfield, you're firing up.
You're playing with confidence,
Yes.
guys, in your championship game. San Fran, obviously, we all know. We don't have to say anybody from San
You're
Fran.
starting every offensive player
Yeah.
San Fran has.
And Washington
gives up a lot of big plays.
Right. And don't forget, if Brissett plays,
Terry McLaurin.
think about Terry McLaurin.
Yeah,
Okay,
running game wise, they have nothing. They're all injured.
Carolina, you don't start Thielen. I think you sit Thielen. Chuba Hubbard might get some plays. Chuba Hubbard gets the majority, the bulk of the play here.
Yeah, he's probably going to get the bulk of it. But if there's any wide receiver, it might be Jonathan Mingo.
Not in a championship game.
No.
Not in a championship. We're talking about championship game. Chuba Hubbard's the only one of significance. Right or wrong?
Okay, all right.
That's
right.
it.
You're right. I take that back.
Yeah, this isn't week 6.
Okay.
All right. Jacksonville.
It's hard to get that out.
No, get it out of you. This is championship game. Jacksonville, ATM. You trust him? You don't trust him? Yes or no?
No.
No, you don't trust him. You trust Ridley, garbage time only.
I don't trust him.
Okay, fine. And
Garbage
Trevor
time
Lawrence,
only.
garbage time only. My opinion,
I
his
trust
opinion.
Evan Ingram.
You trust Evan. He's the only one startable in your championship game. Otherwise, you better if that's all you got, then you roll him out there. However, if you got a better option like a Chuba Hubbard or ATN, you roll out Chuba Hubbard. All right, Miami, Mostert and Tyreek. Obviously, you start those two.
Yeah.
Two are temper expectations, correct?
Yes, correct.
Baltimore, Gus Edwards, and obviously Zay Flowers.
Yes.
There you go. Likely he might
And
get
Lamar, obviously.
and obviously
no
Lamar.
doubt. You got to say that.
King Henry against Houston. Fire him up.
Fire him up, but I hope he doesn't have a game like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, you fire him up. I think you temper expectations on DeAndre Hopkins. I always said it because the quarterback can't get him the ball.
All right,
And what
yes,
about
you did
Houston?
say that. Houston, you fire up Nico, Noah Brown.
And Singletary. Do you play him in your championship game against Tennessee's good run defense with no Simmons in the game?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
You heard him here.
I would fire him up over Chuba, actually.
There you go. You fire him up if you guys for your championship game. Pittsburgh versus Seattle. Najee Harris, you fire him up in your championship game? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. I don't know if you fire up Pickens in there unless you have no one else. And then Seattle, I think you fire up DK Metcalf. I don't think you fire up Geno Smith, in my opinion. Okay. Do you fire up Lockett in your championship game?
He did have a nice second half.
His
but
championship
the
game.
championship game?
Okay,
No,
that's
DK
it.
Metcalf.
Los Angeles, we all know Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, Stafford, and as well as Cooper Kupp. Denver,
Yeah, Denver is going to be Russell. It's going to be
Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy, yes.
And what about do you start up Javonte Williams?
I'm not. Yes, I do, because I believe they're going to run the ball.
Okay. Cincinnati, you fire up T. Higgins in your championship game.
T. Higgins, yes.
There you go. I think you start up T. Higgins. Kansas City, do you do Travis Kelce in your championship game?
Kelsey and Rice.
What about Patrick Mahomes? Do you fire Patrick Mahomes up in your championship game? Wow, you're hesitating. That's tremendous.
That just says a lot right there.
It sure does.
It does. I don't remember the last time he had 2 touchdowns in a game.
Okay. You heard it right here. If you have somebody else, you better think about starting someone else over Patrick Mahomes.
I start Jordan Love over Pat Mahomes.
There you go. Championship. This is it. This is for all the marbles. If you're
Yes.
winning for thousands of dollars out of your league or $100 or whatever, if it's free,
I start Jordan
bragging
Love
rights.
over Pat Mahomes.
All right.
This
Here
week.
goes to Jordan Love. Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings. You start. Who do you start with Green Bay? Championship game.
I'm starting Jordan Love. I'm starting Romeo Doubs.
And what about Aaron
And
Jones?
Tucker Kraft.
Aaron Jones got 20-something carries last week with 140 yards
Yes.
rushing.
It's going to be Minnesota's not is a good run defense, but I would still start Aaron Jones.
All right. Minnesota, you starting up Justin Jefferson.
Starting
and
Jefferson. Addison may not play.
Ty Chandler, you start him?
I would start him, yes.
That's it. They're the only two.
Yeah.
There you have it.
And that game is when? That's at 8:30. Oh, that's a Sunday night game.
All right. My friend, week 17 for all the fantasy owners out there going for your championship game. We gave our best, whatever we felt was our information, our analysis. Again, for you guys, for us, for me, going for my championship as well. You're going to have to make decisions. Please, please, please. Hopefully you make the right ones. And like I said, every week.
I'm sure they want to make the right decisions.
I know.
too.
But hopefully we gave you a lot of insight to make the right decisions.
Yeah, hopefully some of the guys that we say play are on your team.
Yes. Well, yes. Hopefully they are. And like I say every week, my friend, that's all I have.
Listen, it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle. A lot of injuries this year, a lot of movement, a lot of people had to do a lot of things, a lot of acrobatics.
Yep.
So if you're in the championship game, congratulations.
Yep.
And good luck getting this last one over with.
I just want to say, I want to thank you guys for listening to us for the last 6-7 weeks or so when we started the Starters and Sit-Ems. I appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. I just want to say thank you. Co-Commissioner, what do you want to say to the fans or people that listen to us?
I appreciate you guys letting us in and listening to us. And hopefully we did provide something of some insight for at least some of you.
Yeah. 2023 has come to an end for the Stardoms.
Yes.
Hopefully next year in 2024, when we start our maybe pre-draft podcast, and maybe we get some insights, what rounds, where we pick and what we won't pick.
Maybe we'll do something like there are a lot of players out there doing dynasty, and they want to know things before they do their dynasty supplemental draft. So maybe we'll do something right after the NFL draft. I don't know. We'll think about it. We got a little bit of an off season to gather our thoughts, see what worked, see what didn't, come up with a better game plan next year, and come back bigger and better.
Yep. All right, guys.
All right.
Good luck. Congratulations. And again, if you guys do win your championship, please, I would love to see it in the comments. Just post a picture. I want to see your scores. I really do. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
Co-commissioner
let's see some of your
enjoys it.
championship belts, trophies,
Whatever.
cups, whatever you
Take
guys
a picture,
got.
post it in there, and I could give it some love. All right, you guys be safe. Hopefully you win, unless you're playing myself or the co-commissioner. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
right.